Good Friday morning, everybody. I thought I'd give you another Florence update. As you can see very clearly on the visible satellite here, Florence has finally made landfall. So yesterday the storm was about right here and has slowly through the overnight propagated westward and now is right near the Wilmington area. You see the center of its circulation. Still very impressive on the satellite. It's a big storm system. And the big story for us over here in Charlotte is going to be the extended duration of extremely heavy rain that we're going to see starting overnight tonight throughout the entire weekend into early next week, honestly. And I think that's going to be our big weather story. So you've probably noticed outside, if you've been outside, that the winds are sustained around 15 to 20 miles an hour. We've already had gusts in the Charlotte area around 35 miles an hour, and those are going to get a little bit higher as we go throughout the afternoon. So let me show you a couple perspectives. So this is the radar out of Wilmington. So it shows kind of the extent of the rain shield. So there's Charlotte over here. So the rain is not near us quite yet. It's kind of between Raleigh and Fayetteville are the outermost bands. And here's the Raleigh radar, so you can kind of see it from a different perspective. So again, there's Charlotte. So you see some of these outer rain bands are just starting to move through the Raleigh area. And these will rotate around and kind of get close to Charlotte. But then as the center moves westward, all of this rain will move westward as well. So you can see we're many hours away still from any rainfall here in Charlotte. The winds will be the big story this afternoon. It'll be pretty gusty. You'll certainly notice that. We'll see a few showers as some of these outermost rain bands might clip us. But then overnight tonight into tomorrow is when the big extent of the rain starts to begin here around Charlotte, where these big giant rain bands move over us is kind of the idea. So I thought I'd show you from a couple different perspectives. This shows you the pressure map, so it shows you its current position. Actually, here is its current position once it reloads for me. There's its current position. And then basically, if I step this forward through time, you'll see kind of the forecast is for it to kind of graze along the South Carolina and North Carolina border, ending up somewhere kind of near Myrtle Beach. And it moves slowly inland. So this is overnight tonight, around 4 or 5 in the morning. This is 8 a.m. tomorrow. And then this is about 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. You can still see it's still to our south and east here in Charlotte. And the winds will be 20 to 30 miles an hour as well. It continues moving very slowly through the day tomorrow. This is tomorrow evening at around 8 p.m. And then this is Sunday morning at around 8 a.m. Now it's right near Charlotte, the center. And by now the winds have decreased because you can see the pressure lines. The more tightly packed they are, the faster the wind speed. So you can see over here in the beginning, it's very tightly packed together, really intense winds. But by the time the storm reaches us, notice that pressure gradient has relaxed a bit. So we'll still have gusty winds, don't get me wrong. The winds are still going to be 25, 35 miles an hour. But again, the big story is the rain. So when the storm is in a position like this, the circulation flows around it in a counterclockwise kind of way. So the winds over here are over the ocean, and they pick up all this Atlantic moisture, and they bring it all the way around on its northern edge. This is where you do not want to be. And I really think that we're going to have a serious, serious flooding problem across much of North Carolina, from the mountains through Charlotte, southward towards Fayetteville, and obviously the Wilmington area. When you look at track has really come into line. So here's its current position. Basically, almost every model now has it tracking inland through central South Carolina, then moving towards the northwest through the mountains, and eventually up into the Ohio Valley. There is a little bit of discrepancy. As you can see, there's still a little bit of wiggle room here. So exactly where the heaviest of the heavy bands of rain sets up is still a question mark. But it's starting to look very, very much like that we're going to see an extended, very, very heavy rain situation here across the Charlotte area. I can show you some rainfall totals. So when will it start raining? Well, we might see a few outer rain bands late this afternoon, overnight tonight. You see just like a 2/10 of an inch of rain. So don't be shocked if there's a shower or a thunderstorm this afternoon. But the real heavy rain starts after 8 a.m. tomorrow and through the morning hours. You see by tomorrow afternoon, the models have us seeing in Charlotte already about 2 inches of rain. But then by 5 p.m. And then by 8 p.m. tomorrow, we're upwards of 3 inches of rain. And then we get several more inches of rain tomorrow night into Sunday morning. Now we're up to 5 inches of rain. And then by Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening, now we're at 7, 8 inches of rain. So you see an extended or a very broad area of extremely heavy rain from the coast all the way northwestward to the mountains. Basically, we're seeing anywhere between 8 and 12 inches of rain. And these are just model estimates. This model doesn't really pick up the intense bands that overly well. So that's what it's kind of looking like. Here's what the official forecast of rainfall looks like from the Weather Prediction Center, whose job is basically to put out these advisories. So you see it in the Wilmington area, from Wilmington down to Myrtle Beach, there are 20 plus inches of rain. So there's going to be widespread flooding around Fayetteville, down to Wilmington, that area. Charlotte, they've now upgraded. Now we're in the 10 to 15 inch rain totals. Again, if the Charlotte area sees a foot of rain, there will be widespread flooding. Bridges will be washed out, things like that. Roadways will be underwater. So this is something to take very seriously. Here's what our local weather service is forecasting. You can see from Monroe to Rock Hill to Gastonia to Lincoln and Charlotte, all of us in this area, in this dark kind of ruby red color, is the 10 to 15 inches of rain. But even outside of that, over near Spartanburg and Greenville, they're in the 4 to 8 inch rain up through the mountains. Huge amounts of rain in Asheville up through the Boone area, where they're expecting 6-8 inches of rain. So landslides, mudslides in the mountain ranges, and then all of this water will drain into the river systems. We're expecting some river flooding from this. So this isn't just going to be your streams and creeks flooding. This is going to be widespread river flooding. I already noticed that Duke Energy's lowered all the dam levels around here. We live here on the lake, and they've dropped it about 3 or 4 feet in preparation for this amount of rain. So bottom line, we're going to see wind today. The wind will pick up as the afternoon goes on. Winds will be somewhere between 25, 30 miles an hour. We'll see gusts well over 40 miles an hour late this afternoon, overnight tonight, and tomorrow. Sunday, the wind should calm down, though. The big story, though, I think for our area is really going to be the excessive rain. These values are huge. Just to put into perspective, in a month in Charlotte, we usually see 3 or 4 inches of rain per month. So if we get upwards of 15 inches of rain, I mean, you're talking 4 or 5 months worth of rain falling in 2 days. So you can imagine the kind of damage that this would cause. So be safe, stay alert, and I will give you another update once the rain begins later today or overnight tonight. So have a good Friday, everybody.